Hello everyone, I'm Bethlenke, and I'm gonna talk about building facade and lighting and control systems. What's the theory behind it and what's the reality? Before I start, you should know this was created originally in Hungarian. This was my thesis to graduate. So I quickly rewrote it in English. Might be mistranslations, text not being completely translated. So sorry for that in advance. Who am I? I am an electrical engineer with a BSc diploma. I've been working with Oxygen SMD for 5 years, doing all kinds of lighting development stuff, starting from developing fixtures to searching for LEDs, all the way to creating new controllers and control protocols for our systems. And also all the other boring stuff like calculating voltage drop on wires. What I'm going to talk about is two projects that we did in 2022, which all based on some kind of pixel control, and what was this result. I think most of you are familiar with the theory of pixel control. It's a centralized animation generator that creates the animation for the pixels that goes through a common data bus and ends up in individually controlled fixtures. This could be Vertsemi W8 12 pixels or DMX control fixtures. Doesn't really matter for basic theory. The most important thing, they are synchronized. There is not really a change. It all happens at once and you can control it from the animation generator to have a global effect on stuff. Pixel control, like the one we used at a certain place, I will go back to that later, used a very simple setup. It might be familiar to you. There was an LED control master that spammed out data in a serial bus to multiple LED drivers. Serial, the way you connect Vertsemi pixels. There is a data in, there's a data out, and it's not commonly connected to all pixels. The other thing is, here and here are two very important components: a hand control unit, so people in the building can control the facade, and a server, because people are stupid and normally cannot use these kind of controllers. We usually have to log in remotely and fix the issues they cause, so we had to connect also this. If not going through Pixel, what else? DMX and RDM. This is a very common protocol since the 1990s. It uses, for DMX at least, it's a one-directional communication through RS-485, and it can do 512 properties per line, but only 32 fixtures, which is kind of wonky if you want to go and build a huge install. And also, because we are talking about building facades, you cannot really adjust addresses because this is a parallel bus. Every fixture on the bus needs to have a different address. Here comes in RDM, our best friend RDM. It's remote device management. It's mostly used to control DMX-enabled fixtures and set certain values that usually aren't available and only needs to be set on once. Like addresses, like how it will respond to DMX values. Personalities, check basic measurements like temperature and voltage on the buses, do color coordination. All of this can be done through RDM. It's a very useful protocol and it's two-way. What's the two projects? One was a building, Polus Center in Budapest, which had their lighting remodeled for the front. These big lighting panels in the front, and the other was a view tower near Balaton, which is a sphere where they place the DMX-enabled fixture on each point where the lines cross. What happened to this one? Why did I need to remold? Why did I need to work on this? This has been developed from like 2014. Well, lightning hit it, so everything in there burnt away to crisps. The two protocols, Vertsemi 2814 and DMX RDM, was used on these projects, but they were very similar. They were both facade lighting. Well, yeah. Already placed positions were marked up. We just needed to put the lights there. and they were segment controlled. So we needed to have certain amounts of LEDs placed. In case of the shopping center Polish, we needed to have 24 towers, each with 6 pixels. On the view on the near the Balaton, we needed to have 46 lights, each with 8 zones. Also, for some reason, they wanted RGBW for the shopping center, while in Balaton they only wanted RGB, which is quite interesting. I don't really know why. It's personal taste. The problems. The shopping center tore everything down. Left no power supply, left no cabling, left nothing on the roof for us to get started even. Which is great, because I could implement my own protocol, I can implement my own controllers, we could put in our own LEDs. It's so easy to work in a place like this. It only took like 3 days to install it, which is quite fast. But with the view tower, it was different. They did not want to replace cabling, because that's expensive. They did not want to change out the animation generator, because it was really expensive. And they only left me with the choice of, hey, this is the fixture that died. You can replace all the electronics inside the metal casing, but everything else has to stay the same. I was not happy about that. For the shopping center first, we developed a controller that runs our best friend WLED on it, which is very easy to use on many platforms and was able to drive all of these segments really cool, with really cool animations, and we could show that off to clients, like, hey, this is what it will look like if everything passes. The controller can do 4090 pixels in total, with one that can go up to 100 or 200 meters away even, and also can drive 16 amps per channel normal analog LEDs as well, all through Ethernet. And this coupled with a LED driver panel, which had 9 segment outputs, each with same 16 amps per channel per color output, made us a big control box with a lot of wires placed at every tower where we had LEDs. So 24 in total. This could drive 9 pixels. We only needed 6, so we just reprogrammed the pick and place machines to build it this way. The install itself went really great. Somebody came up, installed the LEDs, dropped in the cable. We only had to go up to the roof, connect everything to these 2 boxes, and get everything working, route in data, and we're good to go. This took us 3 days. A ton of cables had to be cleaned. A lot of Wagos being used. Yeah, these 2 boxes, these are only for Wago connections. There's nothing else inside there. And then again, we received optical fiber link to the roof that would connect up to our LED controller, and all handy dandy, worked fine at the end. If you want to know how much pain was it to set up, really, the time between this picture and the previous one, it was 1 month, because something went wrong. I will tell you later. On the other hand, the DMX was easy. We received one of these controller boxes pre-arranged with PSUs. We had a beautifully arranged RDM control center. Everything was routed through multi-core cable. We just had to install the lights. Again, on a Wii U tower, it's high. You cannot really go there and connect stuff and test. You needed actual men that can work in high grounds to do the stuff. So I could not really fail on this one. If a light does not work when it's installed or fail after like a month, I'm toast. Nobody can take it down, or it will cost like millions of Hungarian forints to do that. So, learning from previous mistakes, where they used a ton of DC-DC converters to drive high-power LEDs, I went on a simpler approach. High-power resistors to drive high-power LEDs. Here is the block diagram for the complete fixture. Here is the PCB that went in there, which was designed in the almost awesome to use Easy EDA. It's not the best PCB design software, it's what I had and what I known, It almost crashed on me 2 times while designing this. But in the end, for the second generation, like this is the first generation, the second generation worked fine, and I could make RGB rings all around everywhere. Now comes the fun part. They don't know how to install this. This is a new fixture. So I had to walk out, be there when they took down all 14 bad fixtures, and let them help install all the new ones, because they don't know how to aggregate together. Fun. Not really. Spiders crawled into fixtures, so when they got lowered, imagine a cloud of spiders running out each of fixtures on the floor in front of me. And I have a fear of spiders. We installed all the fixtures, and then we realized a small issue. When you completely redesign an LED controller, you change the characteristics of how it will light up. So you had 20 old style heads that still worked and run relatively good, and you had 14 quite new ones that looked way fucking better. Like color render indexes are high up, looks really beautiful, high lumens. They could not handle this difference. So I've been asked to redesign this. I said no, replace all the old lights, and they were like, okay. Replaced the 20 more still working lights with our new design because it looked different. Just a tiny bit. In conclusion, you can see all the colored bars. It's a really bad photo, but again, it was dark and February, cold. I did my best. This worked really well till a point. Because really what I learned a special thing from this. But on this install, it's still going from 8 o'clock till midnight. It lights up the whole of Lake Balaton, and it looks amazing when installed. It can do rainbow effects, color effects, Hungarian flag because that's needed. Everything. It's beautiful and good to see that they managed to create such an awesome fixtures. And after we installed it, they installed lightning protection for some reason. It only took them a month, and 2 fixtures died meanwhile, but no biggie. We had the power to replace them. And what came from these 2 projects? The realization that in Hungary we need a LED controller that can do this stuff, DMX or DMX RDM or Pixel on hand, and the way that you can install it easily. So I designed 3 products that we now put in everywhere that we can. A dimmer amplifier, because people need 16 amps per channel for LED installs usually. We sell like 20-30 of these per project. An expander card where you can plug in a pixel control signal and have analog outputs, which is very useful if you need just like 12 or 13 channels to control something. And the master controller with an OLED display, because I'm never gonna fucking ever design anything that only runs on Wi-Fi. Because standing on a roof with your phone barely holding up and seeing if it works is a very bad design. And again, this was the prerequisite of this was installed in the shopping centers. Shopping centers are not known to be small. So when you have to test the last pixel at the very end of the chain, but the Wi-Fi is only near the first pixel, you like quite a lot. And the other reason I'm told you that I learned a lot of this, the only thing this project is really missing is a way to detect power outages. Why? Because apparently people notice first when the building facade is not lighting up in colorful RGB colors before they realize the whole building has no power. I went out here 4 times already where I've been invited like, hey dude, the facade is not lighting up. Can you help? I'm like, sure. Guys, do you realize that the doors are not opening on the building? Oh shit. Oh, no power. Oh yeah, well, you'll be fine, thank you. What? So then again, power outages, a very common thing. And this was my very quick talk about building facade design on 2 projects. If you're interested in anything small detail that I cannot share in the Q&A section of this talk, ask me later on, not in front of cameras, and I will gladly. But for now, do you have any questions, interesting ideas, anything at all?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this open source?
Which part?
These controllers, are these controllers open source?
The problem is that because this is company property, I cannot open source it. I cannot. But go find someone who knows how to use a PCB design software and ask them to design something similar. They will be able to. These two are very simple in electrical mechanics, and electrical design, and can be easily put together under like 2 days. Anything else? Up to questions. Yes?
Did you find any usable prior art where someone designed something almost like this and you could use it or learn from it?
I did. I went with this exact thing. I went.
You gotta repeat the question. Repeat the question.
Repeat the question. Did I find anything else that did the similar function to this before I started designing this and learned from it? Yes, there is a very small company doing a very tiny job of creating awesome lighting effects and software for it called Matrix. They are one of the biggest in the industry, and I got my hand on one of their controllers and took it apart and realized how simple they are. The reason that I'm keen on using WLED on every project I could get my hands on is because WLED just works, and works good. It's so much easier to give people a mobile application with everything on hand, and they could just set everything up as they like it or create fun effects as they want it, but still retain the chance to create a more complex animation generator in software through ArtNet, because WLD can do it by hand. Still, this thing runs on an ESP32, so if I need something less powerful, I can just write my own code in C or Arduino IDE, because, you know, it's easier for some people like me. I went through millions of designs, but the problem is you cannot really find one design that can handle this much pixel stuff and control them all in a single unit. Yes?
Is there anything restricting using WLED on like commercial projects? Like an open source software?
The license, I went through the license and...
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yes, yes.
Even hear it.
Sorry. The question was, is there a restriction on the licensing of WLED, right?
Yes, on using on commercial.
I mean, using commercial projects. I went through the licensing, and I found only a line there that you can use it however you like. We do not take any risks. I cannot really. It's been 2 years since I did that, so I can't really reclaim what kind of license it has. But I think it's allowed. And if somebody says it's not, I'm gonna do something with it and help. But what I did is called my company and like, hey, we're using open source shit. So if I have to develop anything for it, let there be an Ethernet driver, let there be a new animation, let there be some control systems, I'm gonna publish it. And they were like, yeah, sure, you do whatever. And then the idea of donation came up. So now we're really heading into the design where my company will support the development of WLED with a quite normal or big amount of money, which I'm really helpful of. Anything else? I'm gonna be here all night, so if you have any questions regarding DMX controller, pixel control, or my shit, then just walk up to me and ask. I will talk your ear off. Also with DMX, because like, have you seen lightning desks? It's really beautiful. Thank you so much for listening to me, and have a beautiful night.